Okay. It's Monday. Hi, everybody.
I'm so unprepared.
Hello. Unprepared is all you have to do is take your mask off right now. What are you talking about?
No, I didn't bring in all my projects.
I almost sat on my phone. Yes, we just said it's Monday, and that's why Liz forgot something at home. Usually, I'm the one who forgets stuff. And yes, some of you might be thinking, but it's Tuesday. I'm watching this on a Tuesday, and I know you filmed it on a Tuesday. And those of you who watch us a lot know this is the thing. This is our Monday.
Our weekend is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, in which we work on shop stuff and knitting and crocheting to get ready for our Monday at the shop.
Our first day of the week at the shop. So, hello! Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
I almost forgot what I was supposed to say because it's Monday.
It's Monday.
I almost introduced myself and went, no, that's not first.
And it's slowly turning.
And it's turning back in. It's because this is brought to you by Purell. Not really. They're not paying us anything. And that's kicking the microphone my way. So I'll just sound louder than normal. No, I'll sound loud, and that's normal. So it's okay.
Is it though?
I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. It's sunny.
And it's warming up. It's going to be in the high 60s.
Yeah. It's mild temperatured, Brevard, North Carolina.
Liz, I'm the minion there.
Okay. Now we've done our pleasantries. Yeah, technically Monday's part of our weekend, although I work my butt off all Monday, so it doesn't feel like the weekend, but I'm not here. That's the main thing. I had high hopes of doing a lot of knitting yesterday, and that didn't happen because tips and tricks video, planning a sale for y'all, we should talk about that. We brainstormed. And amongst other things, and writing my newsletter. My Mondays are pretty full. But I also hear a lot of people out in the world out there saying, but you're not at the shop. So yeah, it doesn't count.
Just because she's not at the shop doesn't mean that she's not working on shop stuff. You spent all day Saturday rearranging items, or Sunday rearranging items in the
I did. Yeah.
Like,
I did some revamping of, or tried to. I'm sure there's quite a few things I haven't caught of the online shop. Like, I'm always tinkering and I'm always doing things. And Sundays I'll take a break and knit, but it's for the shop. So does that really count? Maybe. It's different type of stuff.
Start a yarn shop, they said.
It'll be fun, they said. You'll get to sit around and knit all day, they said. No.
They lied.
I knew that coming into this, though. It's like the whole discussion of, I love to knit, I want to start a yarn shop. That is not a phrase I said. And most people who have a passion for knitting or crocheting know the reality of running a yarn shop is not just, I like to knit, so I'm going to do this. A lot of planning, a lot of other stuff. Not a conversation for today. So, but yeah, we say phrases, sarcastic phrases like that all the time.
Work in a yarn shop, they said. It'll be fun.
Start an online store, they said.
It'll be fun, they said.
It'll be easy and you'll make so much more money. It has helped.
Yes. And we thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much. So much. Oh my gosh. But yeah, there's just the two of us, and we're probably doing the work of about 10 people.
Yeah, because, your social media maven. Oh, your yarn shop owner. Oh,
your minion. The yarn put awayer and sticker and
filler of orders
and color guru and surprise box packer. And
like just the online sales, you're sticking stuff in the system to put online. I'm not allowed to touch the computers, and then
I don't think she wants to, but if she did, I would crawl out of my skin a little.
And I print all the receipts and go, hey, Rebecca, what notes came with the receipts? And then she goes and checks on the computer because I'm not allowed to touch it. And
I could show you how to do that, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
And she packs up online orders, and then I do the mailing part, the online weighing and mailing part of the orders. And I mean,
I do the stickering of them.
There's a lot. I am the photography person and the color editor and the description writer and and there's extra steps when you move a product from in our inventory system to our online system. Even though they are connected, there's extra things you have to do, and it would probably bore you all, but it takes time, which is why we didn't do it ahead of time. Like before we started, before the world fell apart, it was going to be too much energy and too much work, and we need to hire extra people.
Yeah, you knew then. It was like we'd have to hire at least 2 more people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's us, so
you find a way, right? But you go home exhausted every night, and then people say, "But you're only in the shop 4 days a week." I don't get it. Why are you tired? Or I don't see anyone in there. Why are you tired?
When there's no one in here, there's generally 5 orders to pack up. Mm-hmm. There's yarn from last week to put away.
Post-quarantine yarn.
And even if it's Friday, there's yarn from last week to put away.
And then there's organizing the yarn that has fallen off the shelves as we go to fill orders or help someone outside, or we've already had yarn fall apart today filling an order.
Yeah.
That I have not put back yet. So, because there aren't enough hours in the day. But it's not busy. It doesn't look busy. So you must need us to do things or to let us in, or
one thing
life is fun right now.
One thing I found working here is working at a small business and watching what a small business person does. Like, I had some idea my grandparents owned a thing, but the inside, well, you're a small business, you'll get loans, or you'll get, and it's like, it's not that easy, because
she's been hearing me complain about all the things to try to get assistance right now.
They put this carrot of you can get a loan, but the things to do to get it are,
and to make sure it's forgiven, and
it's crazy.
Let's move on, though, because I don't want to vent to our customers.
And then all the crochet and knitting that she does just to
I want to keep y'all
to
inspired.
buy yarn.
Well, it also helps me with my stress levels, but it creates stress levels at the same time. And it's therapeutic for me to knit and crochet right now. But I also feel this urge and drive to keep you all inspired and show you all different things, because I think we've talked about it on the show before. Some of you out there will be like, ooh, color work. And some of you out there will go, ooh, cables. And some will say, ooh, lace. And if I'm only focused on one project, this is part of our process versus product conversation, right? If I'm only focused on one project at a time, I'm only hitting a small number of you. And, I'm trying to be all things to all people. What's wrong with that? Okay.
Probably part of why you're tired. What? Who said
what?
That? Inside voice.
Inside voice got out. What? Part of it I love, and part of it I'm fully exhausted by. And they're kind of the same part, but
well, and it's because you have a life outside the shop, Brian and Alexander. What? And
life outside the shop. What?
There's movie night, and movie night you can't work on a complicated pattern because the lights are off, and it's complicated.
Life is but life's complicated for all you guys too, I'm sure. Feel free to share. I think it helps us all to hear from everybody. So I wanted to follow up on last Thursday's episode. I'm just jumping into here, and then I'll talk about some of the revamping I did, and then the progress we made, or we'll show you eventually. We had a lot of comments on the process versus product knitting episode, which I fully expected, because it's an interesting topic. And let's see if I can go to all of them just to kind of hit on some of them. So, and some of them were, we had a conversation in the message, part of YouTube, but, and Jessica said, I have so many hobbies that my dog has hobbies. I refuse to admit I have a problem. So that was fun.
I
So
don't
just,
have a problem.
I would think maybe that puts her in the process category, according to our definitions. But Mama Dill, so hi Tina. I float between projects and I love the product at the end. So that's a process, but also loving the product. So again, it's not a black and white thing. It's not a clear cut. You have to be one or the other, I think is what was coming up in the comments for us. Jan from the UK, I always love, she writes all this fun stuff. And I tend to think that a product knitter falls in love with the finished item and wants that, whereas a process knitter looks at a thing and goes, ooh, I love that technique and I want to try it. And I think there's a name or something in here, but like, ooh, I want that sweater type of thing. And the process of making it is feral. So that's an example. She's monogamous with her large projects and her small projects. If she needs mindless knitting, she'll alternate between big projects with socks. It's amazing how fast small things fly off the needles when it's the only thing you knit. It's very true. If I focus on a small project over a weekend, I'm like, wow, look, I'm done with a cowl. Totally.
Especially when projects grow and you have 1,000.
You start losing the will to knit.
Bind off.
I track my projects on Ravelry. This is Jan from the UK, so I know how many I get through by the end of the year. I wonder how it compares to a poly knitter. I have always wondered that, because the whole idea of multitasking in general is people think they're getting a lot done, but because they're switching between so many projects or so many things, their brain actually slows down. And so there is something to be said. Hang on, I'm almost there. There is something to be said for doing one thing at a time. Actually might be faster than multitasking.
I think the only way that multi would work is like if you have like a far out deadline and you're doing work on 3 or 4 projects, like rotating that, and those are the only ones you're doing, but
you have a schedule.
I
feel like Carol
does that.
She's
for
in
her deadline
somewhere.
knitting. But like I couldn't tell you how many projects I finished because I don't ever post them.
Yeah, like, I don't keep track on Ravelry. I should. I really should, because then people on Ravelry could see and enjoy and share, and it's I do share it on Instagram though, so I feel like that kind of makes up for it. But no, when I was a teacher, I would teach about, the science of multitasking and versus doing one thing at a time, and how your brain actually toggles between, but that's more doing multiple things at the very same time moment, like knitting and talking to you all. And I can't really do that. As I get older, I just can't. So, Jan also said, mind you, I also paint in watercolors and sew and quilt and have discovered dyeing. So,
she's a
multi-crafter, just like Jessica. So, Peg said, I get excited about new techniques. Every product showcases a different skill or a different yarn. So I hurry up and finish a current project so I can start something new. So she's more of a monogamous knitter, but she loves the process, and that gets her through. She wants to finish so she can try the new process of a new thing. So again, it's a spectrum, or it's fluid, Carol, speaking of Carol, just commented about an hour ago. Love the high-tech edits. I think she's talking about, I stuck in some subtitles. Look at me go. I'm all fancy. As a process knitter, I love the doing whatever. Sorry, I'm reading wrong because it's my first time seeing it. I love the doing, whether I ever wear them or not. Most get donated. She does a lot of stuff. So, and she rotates, but I think she has what she calls deadline knitting. So when she needs to get something done, she will focus, or she will set up a schedule where she's rotating through things to make sure that it's not just, I have so many projects and it's not 10 yet. So we're going to let them leave a message. And I apologize if that gets a little loud for people. So anyway, but I'm pretty sure that the message won't get picked up on camera. I think we've gone through that before, or we just talk real loud over it. Yeah. So that was a follow-up on last week, and we loved all the comments, and we'd love more feedback. And if you're watching this and you didn't watch last Thursday's, go back and watch it. It was kind of fun. So other things before we start showing off projects, because that's going to distract me. The whole multitasking thing, can't focus.
It's true.
Over, she knows. I go, what? You were talking? Huh? I was focused on something else. I used to be a good multitasker. Anyway, so I worked on the website and I added more categories to the website for good or ill. And the yarn for the yarn category online, I'm getting distracted because there's a message being left. The yarn category, I had only listed yarn by weight, by thickness of how thin or thick. So you could look at all the yarn, or you could look at the really thin yarn and the really thick yarn, and in between. You could kind of subdivide by that if you chose to. And I decided, because we have people come in and say, I want to see cotton. I mean, let me back up a second. The reason I did it by thickness is that's kind of how the shop is laid out. Like what's over Liz's shoulder there is some of our thinner yarn on the pretty wall. And as it moves this way, it starts to get a little thicker. And the same thing with the bins you can't see, thick corner back there. As you move behind where we're filming towards the door, it gets thinner. So set up the online shop the same way. But we have people come in and say, I want cotton. I want acrylic. I want machine washable. We haven't done that yet, just machine washable and not machine washable. That might be too much. I want wool. So I added another different way of searching as a general group to our online shop. And I think I'm hoping for all the people who are like, this is too confusing, we'll have other people go, oh, that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. So when you go in to yarn, you should see two, like if you're on the computer, you hover over yarn, it will give you two new subcategories to hover over by weight, by fiber. You hover over those, it'll show you all the options for that category. If you accidentally click on yarn by weight, it'll still show you like all the yarn, but over on the side, on the left, you can see the subcategories. So there's ways to figure it out. But I think for people who are tech savvy and want to look for a certain fiber, like cotton for the spring, or animal fibers, or plant fibers, there's ways to kind of look at a more select group of yarn. And there's ways to do that on your mobile tablet too. Like the 3 bars on the side that most websites have as a drop-down menu to search. Mm-hmm. You can click on yarn, and then it actually, on the mobile tablet, on the phones and tablets, clicking on yarn will open up everything. So you'll be able to see yarn by weight, blah, 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 yarn by fiber, blah, 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 and you can click on what you want. So if you have a chance to look that up and try it out, let me know what you think. The reason I say kind of maybe sort of did this is I had to go in and fill in the categories this weekend. All the yarn that's already up on the site, I had to go in and say, okay, which ones are all the cotton or cotton blends? And hopefully I caught them all. If you want to know specific ratios, or if something's thin or thick within the cottons, you got to click on individual ones. They're not organized more than that. I could do that, but it's probably going to start getting super complicated. So that's part of what I did this weekend. That wasn't knitting. And I'm going to hang on to the sale until the end, but maybe remind me that we need to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we signed off, sorry if that was loud. When we signed off on Thursday, we talked about our goals for the weekend. Do you remember what your goals were, Liz?
I was going to finish my Papillon.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see it here? No.
It's our Monday.
I got to work and I was pulling stuff out of my bag and I went, I forgot
She's
my
like,
Papillon.
I'm here and I'm ready and let's fill orders before we film. And then she went,
I have a picture, kind of.
You have a picture?
Yeah.
It's a picture. It's not kind of a picture. Sorry.
Well, it's not, the whole full laid out nice picture like you do.
Yeah, but you need to have enough space for that. And think, I have like one spot in my house that's big enough. I finished my Papillon. I had goals. We finished, excuse me, we finished within a half hour of each other. Let me just say that.
22 minutes.
Liz kept track. She didn't have motivation to finish before me, but she kept track. So by all rights, she should have finished before me because she was ahead of me. I blame COVID shot. I blame her second COVID shot wiped out her motivation to do anything.
Gosh. No motivation.
So, but she's with us and she's got her 2 shots, and soon she will be considered completely vaccinated because you have to wait 2 weeks after your second shot to be at that level. And even then, we will still be wearing masks.
Changes nothing.
I'm not vaccinated, and on top of that, we're waiting for more science on how protected you are. When you have both shots, you do not have an invisible force field around you yet. Things can still stick to you and drop off other places and all that kind of stuff, but we're waiting for more science. Anyway, moving on. So we both finished on Saturday around dinner time. And I was like, good, I have 2 whole days to weave in my ends and to block it. Didn't happen. So, but I
didn't weave in any ends either.
Yeah, but sometimes that takes a while anyway. I had hopes and dreams. This is the first one that I made that I was changing colors all the time. And like, look, I can feel ends and ends and ends. Like here, maybe I can look at all the ends on this side. Woo! They haven't been moving in yet. And I think we've had a conversation before on the Dear Becky and Lizzy edition where I talked about weaving in ends and how you don't have to before you block it if it's on the edge. But more often than not, now that I block by throwing it in the washing machine to spin out the water once it's been soaking, I don't want the ends to get caught in the washing machine. So sometimes I'm weaving in the ends before I block it. But let me do this. I can almost, it's small enough.
It is tiny.
Compared to
It's so tiny.
Here, grab that. Okay. So this is and let's move towards you a little bit. Yeah. Just so the point is not covered by the microphone. This is my moth variation of my Papillon.
It looks so much cooler in person.
Yeah, you can't see all the vivid colors. Like here, maybe I'm gonna yank it away from Liz. And see, yeah, if I hold it up a little closer, you can see some of the different colors. There are 6 different colors and a pop color. That's pink. And then I even did all of the frilly bind off. Look at that. It's like an I-cord-esque bind off, I-cord adjacent. And you do it by 2 rows that are adding lots and lots of stitches in and then binding off. And you get these little frilly edges. And woo! So it'll look so much prettier once it's blocked because those edges I will spend time pinning every single one of those little suckers. And you'll see them better. Right now it's just a little like on the edge. But the differences between the regular Papillon and the moth include, if you choose to, changing colors when she says to change colors for what I call the stripes, which is each set of bubbles on this. It's putting, and you can do any amount of the variations in the moth variation that you choose. So there's eyelets right in here in the pop color in between section 1 and 2. The sections are delineated by actual straight lines instead of wibble wobbles. There's eyelets again between sections 2 and 3. There are little pods that you put in what we call the Pokemon balls. This little eye, the moth, on moth wings, it'll look like eyes to fend off predators. Some people will also put them up here. They're only written down there, but some people will put them in both places. And then the frilly bind off. The bind off that adds a whole bunch of stitches. So it was really fun. It was really, really fun to do this. And I'm excited that I actually finished a 3rd one. I have one I started before this on needles that I stalled out on. And that was trying to follow the moth variation instructions, but only with only one main color instead of changing all these times. This is a mono Aini, which is a light sport weight. I used 8 colors. I'm using they're 50 gram skeins. I'm using the leftovers for this. I'm using about 5 of the 8 colors in my next project with Ione, which is a little cowl by Melanie Rice. It's at home because I can't bring everything in because I didn't make any substantial progress on that. But I'm trying to use up my leftovers. I did have to crack into right down here a second skein of the gray of my contrast.
That's regardless of, I think, size, how yardage.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is the fingering weight version.
Yeah.
Oh no, it only uses like 100 gram skein of the contrast. So I needed more than 50 grams of the contrast.
And as I upsize mine, I always need,
the upsizing changes everything.
I need a second. Not
so
much,
yes,
but
I will bring this back in when Liz brings hers in so we can see them side by side. And maybe I'll have blocked mine by then.
I'm gonna bring mine in tomorrow.
Never mind. I won't have blocked mine by then. Maybe I'll sew my ends in. So even though tomorrow is the VSC and it's the most dangerous day of the week, and we usually just talk about yarn, we might that we're selling or we're putting on sale or whatever, we might also be showing off our Papillons. So
I have a picture.
Yeah, Liz changed colors every stripe, every like bubble stripe with Feeder Brook, and it was awesome. And she does have a picture that she sent me. It's so cool. It's going to be even better in person.
The colors just don't yeah.
I have to figure out. So we already have a Papillon each of ours in the front window.
Yeah.
And I'd love to put more on display, but you don't have enough space. I mean, I guess we could put them like up here on the walls, but that requires ladders and things. And
I wear most of them.
Well, yeah, but what about when we're not here? Do you want to stand in the window all night wearing yours?
We could start laying them over the chairs. Of course,
yeah, we've done that with the night shift and stuff. We got to rotate things at some point. Maybe we can put them on the mannequins up there, but that doesn't show them off to full extent. I don't know. Anyway, we're taking up your time ruminating on things we haven't made decisions about. So this was my finished thing for the weekend. The other 2 things I wanted to work on.
Did you finish anything else?
No, I came really, really close with this one. This is also a Melanie Rice. I'm doing a whole bunch of her series of patterns and enjoying them immensely. This is the Ashes and Soot cowl. It might look like I haven't made any progress or very little from the last time I showed it off, but I have. I almost finished it. I was making the medium size. It's written for 3 sizes. And the small and the medium both said 1 skein of yarn. Of course, I did not check how big her skein of yarn was, how much yardage. And I was tooting along on the medium size, and I'm like, this get really big. And what I'm pulling out of my bag, because the little ball, the wound skein was hidden in my bag, I'm like, this is feeling loose, like I'm running out of yarn. And I got about 3 rows from the end and had a yard of yarn left. It was not going to work to even bind off early. So I had to rip it back to right here. And the rows right now are going down and back. I had to rip it back to, this is where the shaping starts, and it starts at a different point. It was wider for the medium to make it bigger, so I had to rip past that where the shaping happened in the medium and back to where it would be for the small and start making the small. So currently, and this has really fun, this is made with extra yarn overs in stitches and then dropping and slipping them and then cabling them, and it's less complicated than it sounds. But I am about 10 rows from starting the bottom edge, so it's going to be, see that? It's going to be a little bit bigger than this, but it's going to be wonderful. I had goals to finish this, and I almost did, but I ran out of yarn.
And had to rip back, and so...
Yeah, but see, I wanted to show people what you can make with 1 skein. I could have kept going and opened a second skein, but not for 3 rows. Yeah. So I ripped out a whole bunch of work. In fact, this is the ball created by all I ripped out. Because remember, I was at like this much yarn left. This is how much I ripped out. Actually, I ripped out more because I've knit all this since then. But this Fiber Spates is just gorgeous yarn.
It's so yummy.
This colorway is Pebble Beach. Fiber Spates Vivacious DK. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous yarn. This is one of the most popular yarns in our shop, is Fiber Spates. Of the like higher tier yarn, like not the cost-effective yarn of the nicer yarn in a way. This is one of the most popular standbys if someone comes in looking for worsted or DK and tonal or just hand-dyed looking nice. We point them
or
to
even
this.
even the fingering.
Yeah,
because
we point them to this and they go ooh. And
it's the tonal, like this is, and the camera does not even begin to.
You've made progress on that, I will say. That's her Milky Way, and she crochet, and that is deep teal,
Deep
and
aqua. It's teal.
That's why I said that. But deep aqua. Okay. Deep something. That's tealish. It's gorgeous, and the tonal variation in it's lighter and warmer than it shows up on camera.
I was looking at it while I was crocheting on it on Sunday, going, it's still gonna have that whole Milky Way effect, even with the purples and greens kind of at the cloudy, end. But the because it like has these whole dark patches that look like you're staring into the deep dark sky.
Mm-hmm. It's just the Milky Way. When you go somewhere where there isn't a lot of light pollution, that does remind me of it, because it feels like you're looking through clouds, like really far away light dark clouds, and it's just you can see it as a stripe overhead, and it's really cool. Yeah. This was not on my goals list, but it's on top, so I'm gonna show this off. I try to change up what I do almost every morning, at least in a weekly cycle. I try not to repeat the same thing within a week for my morning meditations on Instagram, my little 1-minute videos. And I was like, what can I do that I haven't gotten back to in a while? And I had finished a skein of yarn for the Honey Moss by Andrea Mowry. And so I decided and I realized the last time I did it as a morning meditation was the end of February. And I hadn't even finished that skein of yarn yet. So it was gonna show some good progress in pictures. So let me find, here is where I started knitting with my 4th skein of yarn. So I've gotten a good 2 more inches of knitting done. I have the lace repeat is written, it's 40 rows, and you have to do it 3 times. And you keep adding a stitch every right side row, every other row. I've done 2 repeats of these 40 stitches. I have 1 more to go. The rows are getting longer. So, but I could feasibly be done with this if I donated time to it this weekend. I mean, this will probably be what I finish this week. But if I want to try to get 2 things done, this is ostensibly one that I could do.
That is getting huge.
It's absolutely huge. I can't spread out the whole top enough. This whole bottom part, it's written for like 5 skeins of worsted weight yarn. So it is thick and luxurious and wonderful and warm. And who cares that we're heading out of the winter months? It's still going to be awesome.
Winter's coming.
I didn't say we were done with winter. She likes to remind us all winter's not over yet. I know that. But by the time I finish this, it might be May. So, but so the bottom of this, remember, you guys have all seen before, I think, is honeycomb cable, which is gorgeous. The top of this is a leafy lace pattern, which will open up so much more when I block it, which is awesome. And I am knitting with Barocco Ultra Alpaca in this wonderful heathery, almost like a pea green, but that doesn't always bring up good ideas in people's heads. This is this luscious, like yellowy green.
It's a pea green, like English pea, but it has tinges of like a grello in there
and a mustard yellow.
Yeah,
and it's really pretty.
So more dimensions to it than just it's a pea green.
And it's going to be lovely when I'm done.
Okay.
So 40 more rows. And then I believe it's probably an I-cord bind off, because you're doing like a little bit of an I-cord edging on it. And Andrea Mowry really loves these rolled I-cord edges and tops. And it'll be awesome. I want to say I'm probably almost halfway through this 4th. No, not halfway, but I haven't weighed it. I left my scale at home. But the big guy that I really want to finish, and I'm really, really close, this much yarn left. Stay Out of the Forest, I also wanted to make progress on, and I did. I am at, I think, 565 stitches across right now. The math on this, I did morning meditation. Oh, this is all coming off. I did morning meditation a couple of days ago with this, And I weighed before and after. I think it took me about 7 grams to get across a row. And I'm at 57 grams left of this. So I'm not going to get many more rows out of this. And so stay out of the forest. Hey, Liz, you want to help me with this?
Yep.
This is going to have to be a little bit of a process. It is currently on a 40-inch circular, a 60-inch circular, and a little bit of a stitch holder.
There's a lot of it.
There's a lot of it, yeah. So we're going to give you that edge. I don't think
you
want to
hand me the yarn?
Yeah, since it's over on your side. These are super pretty skeins of sport weight yarn that Julia of Spunky Sheep has. Hang on, I'm still looking for the. There we go. Has dyed up these 4 packs for us, and I'm getting the other yarn free from this, and they should be coming in soon. If you want to, I had to alter this, so look how amazing this is. And this little wrinkly part is where the stitch holder is that wants to just.
I love how it actually doesn't fade.
Yeah.
But you get these wonderful little zigzags of
the
color
chevron,
pops.
The chevron pattern
Yeah.
in this shawl. If you do it with a fade, it's going to be gorgeous. If you do it with something more striking, I'm calling these more coordinating sets than fade sets. But you can see the pattern so well enough.
You get the colors like interspersed. And I actually like that better than if it was, because you actually see the chevrons
bumping things.
Like you'd still kind of see the chevrons in a solid or a fade. But so it's more striking.
There's a dark charcoaly, like it's almost darker than charcoal, and then a light gray, and then a brown gray, and then my 4th color is called rose gold, and it's kind of a nice coral color. And she is sending us packs where they'll have a different accent color. The first 3 colors will be the same. And you'll hear me talk about this again when they come, and hopefully by then I'll be done with this. And then the 4th color will be different. And we've got some really pretty colors coming for that.
We got fun kits.
But I can show you on this section I'm holding upside down now. The Stay Out of the Forest, we've got a center double decrease on sections that keep adding as you go. We've got the places where you're increasing kind of have a nice lace eyelet look to them. And they're made by lifted increases, which is what I did my tips and tricks video on today. Right lifted. It's still Monday.
It's true.
But it's yesterday. Right lifted and left lifted increases. If you do them on the same stitch, you have this really pretty look. And I actually didn't really know how to do them properly before I started the shawl. And I learned how to do them properly with some help from Liz. And I've drawn pictures
my favorite increase.
Yeah, they're a pretty nice one. I wasn't a fan before I learned how to do them right. Go figure. But you're doing stockinette on this shawl, and then as it gets bigger, it starts telling you to put in this garter ridge, which is knitting on the backside, every like 8 rows or so. And then I could tell I was gonna run out of yarn before the full pattern was done. So I didn't do as many of these ridges and switched to the next section. I cut a couple sections short and started doing things a little faster to make sure I got through all my colors. And one of the great things, and so we've got a ridge every 8 rows or so, and then ridges here every 4 rows. And I'm at the point where I have so little yarn left, I'm going to start doing ridges every other row. So they'll be jammed right on top of each other. And I'll bind off when I have probably a good 15 grams left. I'm going to bind off and hope that it's enough. Hope. We'll see. I'm going to keep weighing as I go to see how much I need to bind off. It means I have some leftovers. Like there was one color that the yarn chickening worked out perfectly, and I had this much left at the end of a row. When the rows are this long, the chances of that happening, guess. There could be that I have a bunch of this left over, but I'd rather have that than lose it yarn chicken. If I lose it yarn chicken, which means I don't get across the whole row, I will have to back out like a row and a half. And that will be sadness and tears. So, but the pattern writer, Gritty Knits, it's Natasha Sills wrote this pattern. And she has a lot of advice about, okay, you know, if you're short or long or whatever, you know, keep going or end when you run out of yarn. She has advice if you want to fade like I did or transition between colors, but you can do whatever you want. It's very open-ended in that way, which I think is really cool. And this has been so much fun. The kits we have coming into this yarn, this, what I'm knitting with is an alpaca, silk, and merino blend. And oh my gosh, it is heavenly. It feels so soft. Like I knit with this, which is superwash merino and really soft. And then I pick this one up and go, ooh.
The alpaca, silk, and merino blend is the same as like the Puyu, the 85.
The Puno?
Puno, yeah.
We correct each other.
I can't remember names.
No, the Puyu is baby butts and unicorn
baby
kisses,
butts and unicorn
which
kisses
is alpaca and silk and really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Puno. Yeah.
Puno.
It's and we have a couple others that are blends like that. It's just it's
yummy.
They can be different amounts of that combo, but that combo is really luscious. Yeah. We're getting these in that luscious combo and in some testers of all these colors and in just superwash merino, which is a little more cost effective and almost as soft, but this stuff is really, really wonderful. So, you know, I think that's, you know, I hit most of my goals. Oh, that's right. I hit most of my goals. Liz did work on. Weren't you saying at the beginning you didn't have much to show?
I have just my thistle and my blue, but my thistle is starting to take forever to get around.
Yeah. Can we? I'm worried about the yarn coming off the ball.
I have it secured.
Okay.
I put a stitch marker in.
This is so hard to like show you guys because it's, oh my gosh, because it's A, beautiful, and B, we don't have that much light behind us. It's all dark behind us. But look how big this was written as a doily.
It was a doily.
And Liz is making it into a shawl. This is absolutely gorgeous.
I am
here. Like I'm gonna stand in front of this.
Yeah.
Because look, okay, there's the center, and thistles. See that thistle? See the thistle right there?
Yep. There'll be those thistles on the outside.
On the outside too?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I see like leafy parts.
Yeah.
I'm holding it against my tummy.
I had to pull out a row and a half because I messed up. But here is where this right here is where I had to add another ball of yarn because.
So wait, your first ball made it all the way to here?
Yeah.
And she's using Plymouth Hearthstone, which is technically sport weight, but has fingering weight yardage. So it's like well over 400 yards. Got her all the way to right here.
It's a lot of chains.
Yeah.
And triple crochets.
That's awesome. Yeah. Holy crap.
I know. This
is so pretty. I wish we need like a sheet behind us. There's too much setup to do that though. I showed it off on my tummy.
I had to add dots to
you had to mark up your pattern on it, right?
A lot to the pattern for the net section in between the first set of thistles and the second set of thistles because I couldn't tell what row I was on. It's like
it's not a thing.
It's like all these little chains and singles and doubles and triples and yeah. And I cannot count to 9 and talk to somebody on the phone. You would think that would be easy, but it's count to 9, do something, count to 9, do something else, count to 9, do something.
I had trouble with my zigzag, which has been in timeout for a while.
Yeah.
Talking on knit night and counting to 4s and 5s.
Yeah.
So I can believe you on that.
That's why I've got this because I'm not even halfway through the square. Well, maybe, nope, not even halfway through the square. And
yeah. Well, I think we're gonna let y'all go so we can start our day, which has to start in about 10 minutes. And we can check that message. So I think I heard who it was, and we won't say that on camera, but then I can figure out what that person would like and maybe get back to them. But we don't tend to get back to people until 10 because there's a lot going on here until before we open. We have a couple of appointments today. There's still appointments available. I don't know if there will be by the time this is published. So go online and sign up for an inside appointment if you'd like to shop in here with us with restrictions. It is sundragonartandfiber.com/shoppingapp. like the abbreviation of appointment, or just go online to our main site and scroll down. So
there was a sale
That's
you
right.
mentioned.
See, I told you all, like she had to remind me. So yesterday was International Women's Day. Yay! And we talked about this. Liz and I talked about this yesterday. Let's celebrate, but the shop's closed, and by the time we talked about celebrating, it was already midday. So no fun to have like a midday. Oh, my watch is telling me I have to stand and move around, which I will in a minute. But it's no fun to celebrate for half a day. Have a pop-up sale for half a day. So we're having a pop-up sale for the rest of the week. Yay! Through Saturday, the end of the day, Saturday, March 13th, you can save 25% at our online shop and at the store with the passcode Strong Women, because we're celebrating strong women in our lives, be it us, be it people we know, be it if you are watching us as a knitter or crocheter, or just watching us and you are not female, you probably know someone who's female and you can celebrate them. Yay! Save money with us. We all win. So, yeah. So the code Strong Women online at checkout, or you can come up to the shop and say the passcode is Strong Women, and we will take 25% off your purchase.
Chances are we'll go, what? And then we will take 25%.
Oh, that's what you'll be like, I want the discount. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're a little tired.
Sorry.
But if you don't have an appointment, you'll have to give us the passcode outside. If you make a shopping appointment to come inside, you can use the discount in the shop. It's really easy to make an appointment. We've had a lot of people do it to very great success. And if you can fill in the notes of what you're looking for, we can help you target shop, because appointments are only for half an hour, and you would not believe how quickly that goes by. If you want to peruse the whole shop and take it in, first of all, we will want to be whacking your hands away from things. You with our eyes, we will be glaring at your hands if they're touching the whole shop. We do want you to touch yarn to buy it, but we'd like to control how much is touched, especially if you're gonna buy 1/10 of what you touch. You know,
we'll put it on the table. If you tell us what you're looking for,
goes right here.
We will fill up the table inside, outside, upside down with yarn.
And then it all goes. You're not obligated to buy any of it.
Yeah,
it goes in quarantine.
You can feel free to touch and fondle and you know all that to your heart's content if it's on the table. If it's not on the table, just ask us, hey, I want a skein of that to fondle.
Yeah.
We do ask that you don't rub it on your face.
And if we just, yeah. So, but if someone says, ooh, this is pretty, and goes to put it back, I'm like, no, put it on the table.
Yeah,
just
stick it on the table.
And this will be going on even with vaccinations until we really see a noticeable decline and steadying of transmission. Just to keep everybody safe,
because even though a lot of people have had their shot, Rebecca still hasn't. So we're trying to protect her.
It's all for me. It's just for me. And we don't know who else coming in and out of the shop
has or hasn't.
And then they're protected.
Yep.
So, and we'll watch the science as it comes out on how much vaccinated people are transmitting it. And it could be they're not, but we don't know yet. Anyway, so there was, the caveats on our discounts. If you use the discount on something that's already discounted, like already a great value, like our Surprise Me sale bin support boxes. If you say we don't have them as $100 value, but say you got $100 box, which means we'd fill it with $200 worth of yarn, but you use the discount on it, the 25% discount. We're gonna make a box for you that's worth the value of what you're paying, which is $75, but it'll be worth $150. What's in there, if that makes sense. If not, call me. I'll talk you through it. So, but yeah, we're not going to still give you the upper end of what you're buying for that. We're going to give you the discounted amount of what you're buying,
because it's already 50%.
It's already a great value. Yeah. But we have people who are buying a bunch of stuff online and want to throw in a Surprise Me box, and the code works on everything. So we'll just adjust. You'll still get great value, but we'll just adjust what's there. Does that make sense? If not, email me, call me, If you're coming to the shop, things you can't use online, but you can use in the shop, we are going to restrict what's used on this sale. So rewards dollars, like cashing in the credit you've earned, or gift certificates, can't be used with this sale. They can be used, hang on to them, use them another time. And you'll get reward stamps, because we have a whole thing here, if you didn't know, where every $10 before tax you spend, you get a stamp on a little card that we now keep in the shop instead of making you keep track of it. And when you fill this card full of 24 stamps, you get $25 of shop credit. That's the credit I'm saying you can't use during the sale. You still earn stamps, though, during this sale, but you'll earn stamps on the reduced value. Whatever it is reduced down to, those are the number of stamps you get. So it's a win-win. You still earn stuff, and we get to take advantage of, yay, people are buying things, and you get to save money.
Yeah. So it'll be fun.
All that.
Most dangerous show of the week is tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. And we will, even though we are having a sale this week, which is more savings than what the product of the week will save you, we're still going to list new products next week, because they'll still be on sale at the beginning of next week when this big sale is not happening anymore. How confusing is this? Save with 25% off with the code STRONGWOMEN all week this week, even on Saturday when the shop is not open. And next week we revert back to normal rules. So you can still save on the products we show you tomorrow with the code product of the week, which saves you 15%.
And who knows what we'll pick? I mean,
yeah, we don't even know yet.
We oddly enough, we do have yarns that are not online.
Oh my gosh, we still have yarns we haven't put online, and some
the
of
problem
it
is it's getting harder to figure out which ones.
Well, because some of them we have limited quantities of, or they're about to run out, and some of them we have so much of. Remember that whole thing, photographer and everything? We have so much of, it takes a lot of work to get it up online. So we'll see. You can always, suggest things. It doesn't mean we're going to do it, but you can always suggest things if you'd like. All right. We love you all. We miss you. We hope you're staying safe and
Knit
getting
night
your
tonight.
shots. We have knit night tonight. That's true. 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which, by the way, this weekend that shifts a little. We'll talk about that later. 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Zoom code to enter is our shop phone number, 828-877-3550. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Our numbers are ticking up, which is awesome. If we get to 500 subscribers, we'll have another sale. So
just for you guys.
Tell your friends.
Just for you guys.
The one we're talking about today for International Women's Week has been on social media, and I've told you about it here, and it's in our newsletter. That's everybody who uses those tools gets access to it. The one for 500 subscribers will only be for you guys. We will not repeat it on social media or in the newsletter. It'll be, you watch us, you get the code. So help us. Tell your friends and neighbors to subscribe if you've already subscribed. Everybody wins. Okay. Now we're much more close to having to open the shop, and I should go listen to that phone message. So we'll see you all later. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.